first set of pictures of this comparison already shows us some differences in exposure and colors. The Sony phone has a more balanced exposure with more vibrant colors, while HTC delivers a more flat image, better for post-editing. As for detail and sharpness, Sony takes the lead with better textures on the flower. Second set of photos, and again colors are different. Sony goes for the vibrant, more dramatic look, HTC goes for a more natural one. My subjective opinion is that Sony does a better job in these first two pictures, delivering better colors, and much better fine detail. Here both phones have almost the same color balance, giving natural tones of green to the leaves and foliage. But where Sony shines is in contrast, sharpness, and details. HTC looks almost as if misfocused, even if both photos were taken with tap to focus on exactly the same spot. Dynamic range in these two photos is almost the same, maybe slightly better on the Sony phone. But zooming in, we immediately see that Sony retains much more details in the lamp. The 19 megapixels motion eye sensor shows its superiority here. These two photos side by side show us again that the two phones always give a different representation of the red color. Like the flowers from the photos before, Sony chose more vibrant shades of red, and HTC chose more muted magenta tones. I think Sony has a more true-to-life photo here. Colors aside, the level of fine detail, sharpness, and clarity that the XZ2 delivers is unrivaled by the HTC. Just look at the leaves and grass in the background, they are much better defined in the Sony photo, and I don't think that this is due to the smaller f2.0 aperture. Another set of photos of plants and flowers, and this time we spot no major differences here. Colors as well as detail and sharpness are almost the same between the two phones. This again makes me believe that the HTC has some focusing issues, because here it nailed the focus, and the photo is comparable to Sony's photo. But this is not always the case, as we see here. HTC again missed the focus, delivering a soft image with almost no details in the grass and stairs. The house is sharper, but still not as sharp as the one in Sony's photo. Here the dynamic range is slightly better on the Sony phone, having a better exposure of the shadows and dark areas, but still retaining details in the highlights. Color tones are almost identical, but again, details are not. Look at the tree, you'll see much more detail in the Sony photo. The trend continues here also, the level of details in the HTC photo are simply no match for Sony. The entire image on the right is way too soft. Colors are identical here, as well as dynamic range. But again, as you saw the entire video, Sony is simply superior when it comes to sharpness and details. And this may be the only notable difference between the two cameras, at least in daylight scenarios. I really think HTC should issue a quick fix on their camera software to improve the focusing performance, or at least improve the clarity and details with some level of software over-sharpening. It's not the ideal solution, but it would still make a difference. I will let you watch the next pictures without commentaries, as they only continue on this trend. I'm sorry, I know I said no more commentaries, but I just can't help myself. Just watch how soft is the HTC photo compared to the Sony photo. Either Sony has one of the sharpest sensors around, or HTC has trash for software processing.